Most of what we've talked about up until now has been mindset. The way that we think drives our actions, the way that we act drives our results. Now, let's think about a business for a moment. It's a vehicle, isn't it? It's a vehicle that helps you transport you and your team from your current situation to a different destination, that being your goals. Now let's run with that vehicle analogy. When you climb into your car, you can drive down the road looking through the windscreen, and your evaluation of the journey will be relatively subjective. You'll be agile because you're looking through the windscreen, so you can avoid pitfalls, you can avoid potholes, you can avoid pedestrians, you can adapt to what's happening in the environment. But it doesn't allow you to objectively analyse the efficiency and the effectiveness of your driving. So what does? Well, think about this. We need to grab the controls of the business. So when we're driving our vehicle, what's really useful to have in front of us is, of course, a dashboard. Now, there are really three constituent elements to a dashboard. The first one is a speedometer. That's how fast we're driving. So if you think about that in the context of a business, that's very much sales and marketing. Sales and marketing is the driver of the speed of our growth. Then we have warning lights on a dashboard. Now, warning lights are a great representation of the operations of the business, aren't they? If the warning lights are off, the engine is running well. If there's a warning light on, then we probably need to consider it, pull over, and check whether it's something that's going to stop us having an effective journey. So we're really measuring exceptions in the process. The third element on a dashboard is the fuel tank. Now, the fuel tank in a business is cash flow. No business survives without cash flow. So if you think about those three constituent elements, sales and marketing, operations, and then finance, they are all reflected on our dashboard to help us make better, higher quality, faster decisions about how effectively we're conducting our journey. So building a dashboard at the right level in the organisation is really important. Let's have a think about that in regard to the entrepreneurial ladder that I showed you. So first of all, an investor level. Well, if you think about it, an investor is somebody who makes decisions on whether to stay invested or to divest from their investments. What information is an investor given? Well, they're given a profit and loss account and a balance sheet. In the context of a vehicle, a profit and loss account and balance sheet is like looking in the rear view mirror. The journey's already happened. We can see where we've been, but it doesn't help us to determine where we're going, and it doesn't help us to make better decisions about the journey ahead of us. It shows us about the quality of the journey behind us. So at an investor level, the profit and loss account and balance sheet is good enough information because it will allow us to decide whether we want to remain invested or not. But it's not good enough information to make decisions about the quality of the journey ahead. So when we go down to the business owner level, we have the next level of dashboard. You see, profit and loss account and balance sheet are lagging indicators. Where we really want to get to is leading indicators. Now, at a business owner level, I talk about the beach dashboard. And I talk about the beach dashboard because of this. Think about the definition of a business. It's a commercial, profitable enterprise that can work without you. And therefore, you should be able to lie on the beach with your pina colada, having somebody send you the beach dashboard for your business on a weekly basis, and be able to look at the key numbers for your business on one piece of paper and know that everything is running as you want it to. Now, we've already touched on that beach dashboard. There should be three elements to it. First of all, what's happening in sales and marketing. So, for example, how many inquiries did we receive this week, and how many did we convert? At an operational level, three basic indicators. Did we deliver all of our jobs this week that we completed on time, on budget, and with the right quality first time? Of course, there are more indicators than this, but that's a pretty good reflection of how effectively your operation's running. And then thirdly, financial indicators, things like bank balance, debtors, maybe overdue debtors. How much did you invoice this week? So there's probably 10 to 12 key indicators that sit at a dashboard level for you as the business owner, which will show you that the business is running as you need it to. Now, of course, they're very top level indicators, but they're still leading indicators. We need to go to the next level now. Think about the functional dashboard. So this is manager level. If you as the MD are sitting looking at one of the functions in your business, you're only going to have the top level numbers. You might need to ask more granular questions. Who should be able to answer that? The manager in charge of that function. So if we take marketing as an example, I mentioned the number of inquiries that you received this week. The marketing manager should be able to tell you what marketing strategy caused them, what was the cost per lead, what was the cost per sale, what was the conversion rate on each strategy. Numerous indicators which become far more granular on the marketing manager's dashboard. Same for operations. What's the margin we're making on each job that we're doing? Are we on budget? What caused the quality issues? What caused us to run over on time? So far more granular measures. And then the same for finance. Now that's a top level functional indicator. So now we have to take it down to the team member. Each team member needs probably 3 to 5 KPIs, which obviously feed into the manager's dashboard, which then feed into the MD's Beach dashboard, which then feed into the profit and loss and balance sheet. See, again, this is a cause and effect diagram. So everybody in your business should have 3 to 5 key performance indicators that they're measuring themselves on. We'll talk more about that as we go through these sessions. But the point is, if you think about it, their key performance indicators then turn into key behavioural indicators. Let me give you an example of this. Some years ago, telemarketing used to work in my business as a marketing strategy. I hired a telemarketer to come and work in the business, and I told her that the numbers were 100 dials led to about 16 conversations on average with decision makers, led to 1 appointment. I gave her a tick sheet to fill in 3 rows. The first row, how many dials did you do? Put a tick in the box every time you make a dial. The next row, decision makers, put a tick in the box every time you speak to a decision maker. And then the next row, appointments, put a tick in the box every time you book an appointment. Then add up your activity at the end of the day and you'll see how you're performing in relation to the averages. You see, the expectation of 100 calls drives the behaviour that 100 calls would be a good output for a day, which should cause 1 appointment. At the end of the first day, I asked her how she'd got on. She hadn't filled the tick sheet in. I asked her, how much do you think you did today? She said, oh, quite a lot. So we went and had a look at the call records. She'd made 34 dials. Now, quite a lot is a subjective opinion on what went on during the day. Objectively, she'd only made 34 dials. If she'd have filled in my tick sheet, she would have known that. Now, if you think about it, I told her that 100 dials led to 16 decision makers led to 1 appointment. She told me she'd not booked an appointment. I asked her why she'd expect to book an appointment when I'd given her the numbers. Next day, I asked her to complete the tick sheet at the beginning of the day. When we got to the end of the day, she'd made 60 dials, so the activity was better. She'd spoken to some decision makers, but she'd still not booked an appointment. Well, based on my averages at 94 dials, she's not quite there yet. Now her confidence is starting to wobble a little bit, but I'm showing her that the rest of the numbers, 60 dials, had led to about 8 conversations. Now that's a little bit below the average, but we're kind of on track. The next day, I asked her what was her target for today. She said 100 dials. I said, brilliant. At the end of the day, we analysed her output. She'd made 100 dials, so the behaviour was right. She'd spoken to 17 decision makers. We'd got what we expected, and she'd booked an appointment. So what happened? The objective analysis of her behaviour caused her to gain confidence because it was in line with my numbers. Now, as we went through over the next couple of weeks, her numbers started to improve on my numbers. So actually by the end of it, for every 100 dials, she was booking 1.5 appointments, which is a 50% increase on expectations. You see, the whole premise here is move the authority to where the information is and make sure that the people conducting the behaviour have the right level of information to decide on what they're doing. Everything, of course, feeds back, so everybody's got line of sight to the overall output, which is the profit and loss and balance sheet. So it's really important to go and start creating those dashboards for everybody in the organisation at the right level to make the best quality, faster, objective decisions. For starters, what I'd like you to do is go and think about your beach dashboard. What are the 10 to 12 measures that you would like on your beach dashboard which represent an overview of your sales and marketing, your operational and your finance functions? Work out who needs to report those to you on a weekly basis and then get them to do so. Put it on a spreadsheet so that you can see the trends emerging over each week. There are really 4 parts to this. The first part is reporting. Somebody has got to report those numbers to you. The second part is recording them. Somebody can record them, either the person who reports the numbers to you or somebody else. The third part is reviewing. We have to review the numbers to see how they're performing in line with expectations. And then the fourth part may be rectifying. We may have to go back and change something in our processes to cause a better result. At least with the beach dashboard, it will start to give you that overview of your business and you'll start to ask better questions. Those better questions will start to cause the dashboards at the manager level. They'll ask questions too. That will start to cause dashboards at the employee level. So the beach dashboard is the place to start. Enjoy creating your beach dashboard and look forward to the day when you can be looking at your business on one piece of paper on the beach with your pina colada and knowing that everything's running as you want it to.